Hi everybody, and today I thought I would tell you my thoughts on why I'm so glad that I am not living in the USA right before election time in 2020. Stay tuned. Hi there. If you're new to my channel, my name is Kelly and I'm an American living in Denmark. And I've been living in Denmark for over 4 years. Actually, the year that I moved here was an election year. So it has been quite a few years since I've lived in the US for an election. Again, like I said, today I'm going to talk to you about my 4 reasons why I'm glad I don't live in the US during election year, and especially during the election year of 2020. But I'm also going to give you one reason why I wish I was in the US during this election year. So you'll have to stay tuned for that at the end of the video. So before we get started, go ahead and hit that red subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications whenever I post new videos. I would love to have you come back to my channel and learn a little bit more about my American life here in Denmark. Let's get started. The election in the US is always in the beginning of November. Halloween is the end of October, so we're getting really close. And for the 2020 election in the US, we have our 2 main frontrunners are Donald Trump and Joe Biden. So let's get into my number 1. Number 1 of things that I do not miss in the USA during an election year would be the advertisements that they run for the people running for office. And this is not just a president thing. It can be people who are running for Congress and other positions of power. And the thing is that you may see these kind of ads, or hear them on the radio in Denmark when we have elections. But it's a little different, and maybe it's because I haven't heard so many. Maybe we have them. Let me know in the comments if what I'm about to explain of what they have in the US is something that they actually have in Denmark. Let me know. But what they have in the US is that there would be this radio ad, right? And it comes on, and it's not just a vote for Trump or vote for Biden kind of thing, but it will be like this scary voice. It'd be like, Joe Biden didn't help his grandma cross the street. It'd be like something where they're trying to bash the other person. And at the very end, it'd be, oh, this is for people for Trump or something like that. So it's like, let's put an ad on the radio where it bashes one candidate and it's written by people who are supporting the other candidate. And to me, it's just the craziest thing. And it's so annoying. It gets to the point when you're driving to work in the morning, you don't even want to listen to the radio because it's all the time. And they put them in so much right up until election day. They kind of trickle in, all through October, but man, that last week of October is brutal. You'd also see these on television. They'll pay to have these commercials being played, and it'll have all the candidates, and sometimes where they pick pictures where they have it's almost like they're angry, like an angry face. And then they'll say something where it's like, again, oh, did you know so-and-so supported blah, 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 ooh, bad guy, and it's like, I don't know. I really, really could not stand those types of ads. They drove me crazy to the point where I didn't want to watch TV. I didn't want to listen to the radio because they were just so annoying. I mean, it's great if you're going to have a candidate say, these are all the things that we're going to do, instead of let's take our time on the TV and bash the other candidate. What is that all about? In all fairness, it's not like one person coming on saying, I don't like this guy's really bad. They're not doing it. It's usually some sort of coalition, some type of group, supporting one side, and so they're bashing the other. But I can't believe, in a way, that our radios and our TV stations actually allow this stuff to go on. It doesn't make sense. Moving on. Number 2 is that it's all everyone wants to talk about. Sure, it's really interesting. It's really going to change our country, but it's really all people want to talk about. And they kind of want to, in a way, persuade you It's really weird, you know? They'll have their Facebook pages like plastered with all different kinds of things about the candidates. And again, it could be something so for their candidate, but most of the time it's bashing the other candidate, you know? And that gets so annoying. Yeah, I'm still able to see that because Facebook, for example, is everywhere. So if I'm on someone's Facebook page of a friend who is in the US, and you would not believe how many people I know who are supporters of both parties. It's not because I am a certain person who has certain beliefs, so everyone around me will have those beliefs. No. It's very interesting to see how kind of divided. And I almost wonder if we took away these terms, Democrat and Republican, would we be so divided? Would we just say, let's pick, 5 people who are really good candidates and then let's weed it down instead of saying we have to have a Democrat and we have to have a Republican? I mean, I don't know. It just seems to me that people, really want to kind of become debaters all of a sudden. It's just like someone you don't normally talk to in that context. That's all they want to talk about. And it just is something that it gets annoying. Let's compare that to Denmark, for example. In Denmark, talking about politics is so common. That'll be one of the top things that a lot of people want to do. That's the top thing that was discussed with me everywhere I went when I moved to Denmark. And I thought, I don't want to talk about politics. There's so many more interesting things, in my opinion, to talk about than politics. But in Denmark, people love to talk about it. Number 3, now because it's 2020, we have this little thing that you may have heard of. It's called Corona. And Corona has seemed to, made everything a little bit crappier, if you really want to put a truth to it. When we think about the political situation, we think about, things that are going on in the US. Corona is something that is really changing people's lives, but it's also making people really kind of crazy in a way because of wearing masks, social distancing, people losing jobs. There's a lot of unknown things going on, and there's a lot kind of to distract people from what we need to be focusing on is, picking the best candidate for yourself, making the right choice when you make your vote. But there are so many other things involved. It's almost like, can we postpone the election until this Corona thing gets out of the way? Because people are so distracted. And that's just my opinion. People have been living with this stress for so many months, and the election year is an added stress. So I'm just kind of glad that I don't have to go through all that extra stress. My entire family lives in the US though. I have countless friends who live in the USA, and my heart goes out to them. I know this has got to be an extremely hard year for everybody. I have family members who work in healthcare, and it's not an easy situation because when you go to work, you know that you could be putting your family at risk. And you're living with these stresses day in and day out. People who are losing their jobs or who aren't getting as many hours or making as much money as they normally would. And it's a very stressful thing. I think that making this decision might be a little bit harder because of the stresses that Corona is putting on a lot of people. Number 4, like I said before, with people wanting to talk about politics all the time, it's very difficult when you talk to close friends and family members who share opposite views about politics. It's so funny because, you could have a very close family member who has a completely different view of who the best candidate is. And it's very difficult to have conversations with those people because you feel very strongly about your choice. They feel very strongly about their choice. And in reality, it kind of makes like this divide. People feel so strongly about their choice that it's very personal. And I know for me that whenever I am talking with anybody who is a supporter of the other side, I try to make sure that I'm very open-minded, because I am anyways, but I'm very open-minded to their choice, and I don't ever bash their choice, but I will never really stand for someone, let's say, defending something that is wrong. It's very difficult. It's very much like the Civil War, if you will, because, you don't want to ruin relationships over a political election. It's so strange. But I know in the US, it's very much like that. It's very much like when you're going to dinner with family members, or when you're going out with friends, or just talking with them on the phone. Talking about politics can really divide families. It can really divide and destroy friendships. So it's something that I haven't particularly seen here in Denmark. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you have family or friends who are of different political parties and it's to an extreme where you can't communicate with each other anymore. But I know that in my family, we're all very, I don't want to say hush-hush about it, but we know not to have these big political debates with our family members because there's really no good outcome from it. We're not connected because of a shared love of a, political figure. I mean, that's ridiculous. We're connected because of a lot of other underlying things. And those are the things that we focus on. We're family, we're friends. When this election time goes away, things kind of go back to normal. It's really kind of crazy. But that's one thing that makes me very happy, that I'm not living in the US and I'm not having to be in these kind of awkward situations with people who I'm close with, I care about, but don't share my political views. Now we're at the end where I'm going to tell you the one reason why I would like to be in the USA during this 2020 election year. And that's because I actually love going out to vote. We have these places, which are usually kind of churches or community buildings or something like that, where people are assigned to go. So if I live in a certain area, they're going to pick the one that's kind of closest to my house to be where I would go vote. And there would be a certain amount of people there, so those certain ballots would be there. So you would go there, you would say your name, you show your ID, and you would get your ballot. You would go to a little area where you would be alone to fill out your ballot and put it into a machine. And I just really loved that. I loved going through the motions. I know that as an absentee ballot, I'm voting from Denmark. So that means that my ballot will come to me and I will have to send it back to that office that, tallies up my vote. So obviously it's a completely different situation. And so there's a different feeling. Sure, you still get that good feeling when you vote, but there's something about being around other people, and we're all there to do the same thing. We're all there to kind of share our voice and try to make a decision that's going to help your country. So it's just got this really good feeling behind it. And that's one thing that I kind of miss, is the being there and being present and actually doing the thing, instead of just being by myself, filling out some paperwork and sending it back in. But I'm really hopeful that things will be looking up. I mean, I feel like for 2020, for a lot of people, it can only get better. So let's hope for that. If you are Danish and you are someone who is interested in politics, what do you think about American elections? Are you interested in them? Tell me a little bit more. If you are from another country, do you follow along with the American elections? I know they do in Denmark. It's very popular here. I don't miss out on anything because it's on their news channels and you know about poll numbers and all kinds of things. They're very interested about what happens in the US. And I'm curious to know if you are the same in your country. Let me know about it in the comments. Election day is fast approaching, so hopefully you are ready to put in your vote. If you are living in the US or if you are an American living abroad, that you've already sent your ballots in. Your voice is important, your opinion is important, and I really hope that you vote. Thanks for coming along and watching this video. I really appreciate that you're here. Don't forget to subscribe and go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for being here, and I will see you again. Take care.